This is the high intensity interval portion of our 3-day workout program. And before we get into the exercises that we're going to do on this particular part of the workout, I want to just kind of sum it all up so that you understand what it takes to get you from where you are now to the best physical version of yourself that you can be. And along that journey, I think you're going to find that you're not only going to become the best physical version of yourself, but you're going to become the best version, period, of yourself because of all the things required to take yourself from overweight and out of shape to that best physical version. So one thing I haven't talked about in any of these workouts is your mind. Your mind is actually the number one most important part of this whole program, of whatever program you take on, if you want to get into good physical condition. Whatever shape you're in right now, if you're 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, you got a lot of years of effort, and it might not have been effort, but you got a lot of years of time that went into getting you where you are today. Well, your body got that way over a long period of time, so did your mind. And you look at yourself every day in the mirror and you see this version of yourself that you are today. So you develop a set of beliefs around that vision that you see in the mirror. In order to really be successful at going from fat to fit, out of shape to in shape, you got to change your mind. And it's not going to happen overnight. You don't just snap your fingers and your mind change. It takes effort. So there's two aspects to your mind that need to change. The first one is your view of the future, your view of yourself. If you kind of think about it like driving a car down the freeway, you're not looking at the hood of the car when you're driving down the freeway. You're looking out there however far you can see up ahead because that's where you want to go. You're looking up there, you're looking at the destination, you're focused on the destination. There's things coming in from the side, a car over here, a car over there. There's the guy on the side of the road with his radar gun. You're watching for all of the hazards as you're going along, and being mindful to avoid them, but you're focused on what's down the road, and that's how you get down the road. Well, it's the same thing with all your goals, but in particular with your body. If you're looking at how you are right now, you're just looking at the hood of the car. You need to look at what you believe you can be, and you need to focus on that every day, not just while you're in the gym, but you need to start implanting that thought in your mind at every opportunity. It's not easy to do. We've all heard about visualization and how we achieve our goals, and maybe you've heard of The Secret where you can manifest things. Well, there's some truth to all of that. You create your own reality, and if you leave your mind focused on what you are right now, you're just going to get more of what you are right now. So you have to get to a point where you're seeing yourself as a fit person, because then you're going to take the actions that a fit person takes. You're going to think like a fit person. You're going to behave like a fit person. You're going to eat like a fit person, and you'll be more likely to get to your goal. The second part of the mind that will change, and it will change just by virtue of doing the workouts, but you need to still focus on it, is the mind and muscle connection. When you first start working out, in fact, a lot of people, when they go to the gym first, I had lots of people come in and they didn't particularly get bigger or stronger by the size of their muscles growing. They got stronger just by the fact of getting better at doing the exercises, the practice of doing the exercises, and the mind-muscle connection. When you first do a bench press, you're just so focused on not dropping it or having it fall on your chest, you don't even think about your muscles. But as you do this repeatedly, you're going to start feeling your pec muscles. You're going to start feeling the muscles that are engaged in that exercise, and you can focus on the muscles you're working instead of focusing on a bunch of other stuff. And just that simple change in your mind will make you stronger at your lifts and better at all of the activities. Your coordination improves when you're doing the high intensity interval type training, or if you're running, or even if you're outside of the workouts, you're playing some sport, shooting some hoops or something like that. You get better as your mind gets in touch with your body, with your muscles. So focus on those things as you're going down this journey. Focus on your mind. It is the most important part. The rest of it is just the mechanics. The other thing I wanted to put in here is what's necessary when it comes to weight training, progressive resistance training. Like I've always said, it doesn't have to be weights, but it has to be progressive resistance. In other words, you're progressively overloading your muscles. Research shows that that if you do somewhere between 10 and 20 sets per body part per week, you're going to gain muscle. So, and those 10 to 20 sets have to be performed at about 80% of whatever your 1 rep maximal effort would be. So that's a fairly simple, fairly digestible volume that you need to do. Again, going back to the mind-body connection, you do have to pay attention to your body, especially the older you get, because if you really go all out on a workout, you can make yourself so sore and so damaged that it takes a little longer to heal. So you might not do, for example, this workout that we're going, this 3-step workout, you may not do this all in a week, because that's 6 days in a week. So it may be you do 3 days this week, you might have to take off 2 or 3 days and then start the next cycle of it. So, but it really depends on, it's very individual. Each of us has our own tolerance for pain and our own ability to recover. So pay attention to what your body's telling you so that you don't just keep going until you overtrain and get an injury. Undertraining is usually the biggest problem with this, but overtraining is certainly possible if you just are really a type A personality like me and you just go all out. So pay attention to your body. 10 to 20 sets per body part. And one more thing about that. You can reduce the number of total sets that you have to do if you focus more on compound movements. Compound movements are things like chin-ups. Instead of doing curls, biceps curls, where you're only working your bicep, if you're doing chin-ups, you're working your biceps, you're working your lats, you're working your shoulders, you're getting multiple, your forearms are in there, you're getting multiple muscle groups worked in one single exercise. So keep in mind I'll say the bigger the movement. And one thing you can add to that is if you're moving your body through space in a movement like a squat, a chin, those are the big movements, and those use a lot of different muscle groups. So you can reduce the total number of sets by doing just that. So what exactly is high intensity interval training? Well, it's exercise that's performed at a high intensity that takes your body to 80 to 90, maybe even 100% of your VO2 max, which is the ability of your body to uptake oxygen, for a brief period of time, and then cycling back to a lower level exercise and allowing your breathing and heart rate to normalize somewhat, and then cycling back up to the high intensity. It's simple as that. There's a million different ways you can achieve a high intensity exercise to put into this program. Typical exercise duration of one of these workouts is anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes depending on your level of fitness. And it can be less when you're first getting started, obviously. So I'm just going to give you a number of different ways that you can do this. One of my favorite ways to do a high intensity session, in fact I just got done doing it, is put 30 minutes on the clock and just start doing burpees and do as many burpees as I can in 30 minutes. And typically I can do say 10 burpees in a minute, and then I have to catch my breath. If I want to, I can do more than that, but if I don't stop, I won't be able to catch my breath without taking a much longer break. So and then I just do those for 30 minutes. So I do the burpees until I'm super winded, and then I stop, catch my breath, go again, and over a 30-minute time, I get in somewhere just north of 200 burpees. I just did a workout that was a different kind of a Navy SEAL burpee, which is way more difficult because each burpee involves 3 push-ups and bringing your legs towards your body at the bottom of the exercise. That was I got 95 done in 30 minutes. So you can, depending on the exercise, it's going to change how much you can do. So I'm going to show you a number of different exercises that you can incorporate into a high intensity interval training session. And these exercises, if you perform them each for about 30 seconds and then take a 15-20 second breather and then do it again, or put them all in a list and just do the first one, take a breather, do the next one, take a breather, do the next one, take a breather. And once you get all the way through the list, go ahead and, if you've still got some juice left in the tank, start back over at the start and do it again. One of the pieces of equipment you should have with you when you're doing a high intensity interval training is a stopwatch. Most of our phones have a stopwatch function of some kind on them, or a clock. So you can at least see how long you're doing things, kind of keep track and make sure that you're focused on the amount of time that you're putting into these exercises. Because a lot of times when you're doing one, you'll give up too soon or you'll go too long, and a stopwatch will help prevent that. So, okay, so here we go. Okay, so the first one is going to be side lunges. Oh, one more thing. Make sure you warm up before you do this so that you don't pull a muscle, because that's a very common occurrence, just to jump in and go. Next thing you know, you got a tight hamstring or something, and pow, and now you're down for the count for a long period of time. So warm up, even if you just walk around the block or do 5 minutes of marching in place, anything to get the blood flowing, get your muscles a little bit warmed up before you tear into a high intensity workout. So the first exercise I want to use is side lunges, or they're sometimes called the speed skater movement. So it looks like this. We go from side to side, drop down a little bit so you get that lunge. You're working your quads and your legs, and that's the movement. The next exercise is just a basic squat. So very simple. If you're in bad shape, you can put a chair under your butt and do it, but just basically down and up, down and up. And you're trying to get your top of your legs, your quads, down to about parallel with the floor. So you do a nice deep squat. The next one's going to be push-ups, and there's a number of different variations on a push-up that you can do. You can use a chair. If you're not strong enough to go all the way down, you can be on your knees. So here's push-ups. The next one's going to be jumping jacks. Probably if you went to high school in the United States, you probably did these in physical fitness class. Basic jumping jacks, simple as this. The next one's going to be triceps dips. And I got a chair back here so that you can see how you just do it with a chair. You can do it at home. These are just, get yourself stretched out and do dips. 30 seconds of these will have your arms burning. The next one's going to be high knees, and this is mostly a core exercise. It's one that people don't think about as working their abs, but it really does. And high knees, put your arms up in the air like this, bring this knee to this elbow, right knee to left elbow, left knee to right elbow, and you can do them at a pretty good clip. And if you focus on your mind-muscle connection, you focus on tensing your abs when you're doing these, you're going to get a good abdominal workout out of this. And the last one's just going to be basic crunches. Just simple, nothing magical about doing these. Try not to get in a habit of throwing your arms to use momentum, and just do the crunches. So that's just a bunch of different exercises you can do. Again, one of my favorites is burpees, just because they're a full body movement. When it comes down to compound movements, you get a lot of benefit out of doing burpees, but they're pretty difficult to do. But even if you do them super slow, most people can at least pull off one or two, and then you start working your way up from there. So, and there's a bunch of different varieties of burpees that you can do, but they are one of the most effective full body movements. They're prison workouts, they're called. You look at the guys that are in prison, but they're still jacked. Well, they got that way by doing burpees, because that's one of the main workouts that can be done there. So once again, if we circle back around to the whole thing, you gotta, to get a complete workout in every week, you should do something that works your cardiovascular health, which this high intensity program accomplishes that, along with working your muscles. And then you should do something to build muscle, because muscle is really the organ of your body for longevity. The more muscle mass you have as you age, the bigger the reduction in all-cause mortality. In other words, the less likely you're going to die from any of the reasons that people die. And you also fight off sarcopenia, which is the loss of muscle mass that happens to people as they age. So it's critical to put on muscle mass if you can. And everyone can. Eat enough protein. Oh, and that's maybe the last part of this thing is you can't outrun the McDonald's and Burger King diet. You do have to be conscious of what you put in your pie hole, or you're not going to make the gains that you would make otherwise. So the holistic approach to your fitness is your mind, your body, and what you eat. Cover all three bases. Really focus on your mind. Push your body beyond what it's capable of doing now. Pay attention to what you eat, and you will achieve your fitness goals. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this useful. And if you did, like, share, subscribe, all of the above.